Hotep, Black Power, brothers and sisters, giving honor to the Creator, giving honor to the ancestors, and as always, honor to my sister, Chief of Staff, Brother Harris Abdul of the Street Law Soldiers, my father, my in-laws, and all of our great ancestors that are in the ancestral realm that continues to stand behind us while we fight for liberation and salvation of our black nation. Today I'm just going to freelance on some things. I wanted to touch up on a few things concerning Dr. King that I actually didn't touch on yesterday. So I'm just going to be throwing some stuff around, rambling in different subjects and topics. So let's just try to make a good learning experience out of the time that we have. As we talk about what I wanted to mention about Dr. King, some of the things that was rumored to have taken place when Dr. King was mortally wounded while he was in the hospital. It is said that the doctor smothered him because he was still alive, that the doctor smothered him with the pillow and also injected some type of lethal sedative in Dr. King, which really to ensure that he was deceased. Now, once again, you had Muriel McCullough, who was a police informant who was also the one that pretended to be giving Dr. King CPR, in which he wasn't. Clearly he wasn't. He just wanted to make sure Dr. King was gone, that Dr. King did not have any vital signs. And see, these are a lot of things that have taken place. And when I mentioned to y'all about James Earl Ray admitting to not killing Dr. King, in which Coretta Scott knew that James Earl Ray was not the shooter, based on the fact that Coretta Scott King went to visit James Earl Ray, her and the children, I think bi-weekly, and put money on his books. And what they wanted to do was get James Earl Ray to confess to the murder, and he was going to be released after doing a certain amount of time, because they wanted to close the books. So what happened was James Earl Ray contracted hepatitis C because he died from cirrhosis of the liver. And what they had agreed to do, if he had confessed to killing Dr. King, they were going to put the money up to get James Earl Ray a liver transplant. But James Earl Ray refused to admit to something that he didn't do. Now, new discoveries come out that there was another building right next to the book depository where George Bush was supposedly have been in that building on the top floor, because they determined that that was where the shot came from. So they're trying to say that George Bush could have possibly no, this wasn't King. George Bush could have possibly had shot Kennedy. Excuse me for the mix-up. I'm talking Dallas, Texas book depository, when the motorcade was coming down through the grassy knoll, and it was another building directly next to the book depository where George Bush was seen. And I believe he was either 18 or between the ages of 18 and 22 at the time. And that's where they're determining, that's where the lethal shot that killed former President John F. Kennedy. But anyway, back to James Earl Ray. By him refusing to admit to something that he didn't do, they allowed him to just die from cirrhosis of the liver in jail, because they were going, like I said, they were going to put the money up for a liver transplant for him. So, just some tidbits, just some things that we need to be made aware of. Another thing I want to talk about is how all these so-called black leaders are pushing this gay homosexual agenda. You have this faggot named Cleo Manigo, who they have the nerve to say is the gay Malcolm X. Now, what type of shit is that, the gay Malcolm X? And he's backed up. This faggot is supported and has been endorsed by Chairman O'Malley of the Uruhu movement, as well as Minister Farrakhan of the Nation of Islam. Snoop Dogg and other, punks have endorsed this faggot. Now, at the same time, while they are endorsing and pushing this gay agenda, they're condemning the heterosexuals. Farrakhan sits there and make a speech about the great ancestor Dr. Khalid Muhammad being molested or some type of sexual violation, which is totally untrue. And also, he said the same thing about Malcolm. Just because Khalid Muhammad was supposedly had been in a group home, that doesn't necessarily mean the man has been violated. And I believe if he was, if it were true, Dr. Khalid would have spoke on it, because Dr. Khalid was the true warrior general, and that would have been something he wouldn't have just pushed under the rug. As much help as he has given our brothers and sisters who have been plagued with such issues such as those. Ray Hagins also pushes this bullshit too, this gay agenda. And Booker T. Coleman, Kaba Kamini, he pushes it. And it's not hard to see because, and I've always had a lot of respect for this brother, for this elder. But I watch how his hand gestures are and how he wears his hair, in some type of ponytail at the top of his head, some type of bob or something, and really, really suspect to me. Very suspect. And then they have this other individual that they call Gay Z, and this faggot, he's a flaming gunk. And he had the nerve to say that Marcus Garvey would have fucked with him if Garvey was living. That Garvey would have been assisting him in pushing the gay agenda, man. This the type of shit, man. This is where we at. This is how fucked up and distorted our thinking has become. To even fathom a thought like that, man. It's fucked up. Fucked up. And something, we have to take a stand on this shit. I don't give a fuck if you call me homophobe. I don't give a fuck about that shit. I'm never going to rock with that gay shit. I'm never going to go along with it. So you can forget about me going along with it. And no matter who is gay, whether they're related to me or not. And also, we have to stop, being on this savior complex, and this Jesus complex, this savior complex that we have. Because no one person holds the key to everybody's salvation. That doesn't even make sense. You know, no religion either. You hold the key to your own salvation and liberation. You hold the key. You know, and you got to be clear about that. You know, and you have to take a chance, because if there's no risk involved, then there's no reward. Because we got to get out of the hocus pocus thinking that someone's going to come out of the sky and save everybody and judge everybody. You know, that is purely about love. You have to have the love of the Creator at the core of your being. Otherwise, you know, depending on some book and some story to save you, you know, and to liberate you, is not going to happen. How many thousands of years have passed by and people are still reading these same books and have not got any results from these books? Zilch. Nothing from them. You know, you know, they were talking about the Umar Johnson, Tariq Nasheed situation. You know, you're gonna have differences. But I don't believe to that extent where you're name calling, you're personalizing everything, because some of our greatest people, you know, had differences with people. You know, Garvey did with Du Bois. You know, Ida B. Wells with Frederick Douglass, Susan B. Anthony, Huey Newton went on Cleaver. You know, Dr. King went on Jesse Jackson. You know, Elijah Muhammad, Farrakhan, Dr. Colin Muhammad. Elijah Muhammad and Malcolm X, and Dr. Khaled and Farrakhan, and King went against SNCC. You know? So, you know, let's just be clear about this. You know, now, you know, Tariq Nasheed and Umar Johnson have put some type of personal slash feministic twist on this so-called beef. You know, and that's why I encourage people to stop making videos about that, responding to that, so you can get hits on your YouTube channel. Because all it does, it just makes you, it makes you look like a Oprah Winfrey mindset type motherfucker, or Wendy Williams, you know, where you want to sit back and instigate and pick and choose who you think is okay, based on whatever views and opinions they may have pertaining to the things that go on in this society. Primarily white supremacy and the gay agenda. You know, and just like what Farrakhan, you know, when he said that shit about Malcolm being don't know how to treat women and none of that, and that's bullshit. Malcolm had one of the best top queen ancestors, the mother ancestor, Betty Shabazz, and he knew how to treat a queen. Because Betty Shabazz, Malcolm brung the best out of her, and vice versa. Because you can tell how the power of a man based on the power of the woman who stands behind that man. And that's what made Malcolm so great. Because he had a queen, African queen, in all aspects standing behind him. You know, and then this faggot, Manny Marable, you know, he gonna write a recent book talking about Malcolm was gay and all this shit. You know, just to make money and slandering this brother's name. You know, Manny Marable, somebody should slap the shit out of him. He needs the fuck slapped out of him for even saying some shit like that. And if you see him, you'll see that he looks like a straight motherfucking fag. Straight fag. You know, And those just, some of the things that, like I said, I'm just rambling, touching on a few things, just as how, we have got so engulfed into the things that Donald Trump has been saying. I can respect Trump more than I can respect any of the other presidents because all of them have the same mindset. All of them push the exact same agenda. But I would rather have someone to let me know how they feel in my face opposed to doing this covert bullshit where you're acting like you're for the people, but you're doing the same thing in terms of, supporting and endorsing white supremacy and racism. Even Obama, white supremacy just had a black face on it. And we are satisfied with that. We'll accept that. What's the difference between a Klansman coming in your house or the mailman who's dressed as a mailman but is a Klansman? We act like we want to get fucked over with some respect. Fuck over us with some respect. Don't be open about what you're going to do, even though you're going to do the same thing as the one that is open. Doesn't make any sense. And, the warped thinking that we have in these day and ages. Because, one of the things we need to do, first of all, we need to combine our resources. Those who refuse to participate, we need to get rid of them. And I mean physically get rid of them. Combine our economic structure and power, run all of these non-Africans out of our communities, these store owners, close the pawn shop, close the liquor stores, close the Korean carryouts, move the dialysis buildings out of the way, get our own police force, create our own police force, create our own banks, create our own mom and pop stores. Where if you're in the community, you're outstanding citizen in the black community, and you may be struggling financially, you can go to the mom and pop stores and get credit, get things on credit to feed your family. That's the mindset that we have to get back into. Otherwise, we're going to continue to be slaves to and participants in our own destruction. We're going to be participants in our own demise. So, no religion is going to save us. All this debating and arguing about Kemet and Israel and all of this shit, is worthless. Of course, we need to know our illustrious history. But at the same time, we have to find out who we are first. Where we come from. Start accepting where we come from and stop wanting to denounce certain countries where we come from. You have people that don't want to be African, that's ashamed to be African or say they're African. You have people that are ashamed to say that they're black. And these things take time, before you can have someone say that they are a Moor and, a Hebrew Israelite. First you got to understand who you are. That you are the original man and woman of the planet Earth. That you brought everything in terms of human form to the planet. And once you understand that, then we can venture off and different areas where our people were at, where our people prospered at, and the names of those individuals in those particular parts of the world. You know, whether it's Moorish, whether it's Kemetic, whether it's Hebrew, or whatever. You know, but don't condemn everybody because of what you think is right, then everybody else is wrong. That's bullshit. You know, if you have any questions, you know, feel free to hit me on my comment box, because I'm always open for dialogue. You know, because I'm willing to learn whatever it takes to you know, for me to you know, enhance my growth and development in terms of my frame of reference. You know, so, and you know, they got a lot of movies. You know, Denzel's movie is some shit. You know, then they had the Thurgood Marshall with Chadwick Boseman, even though it's he doesn't have no features of Thurgood Marshall. Thurgood Marshall was a mulatto with wavy hair. However, you know, he engulfed himself in the character of Thurgood Marshall. Well, I call him No Good Marshall because he was a fucking spy, you know, against black people. He worked side by side with J. Edgar Hoover, you know, being an informant for J. Edgar Hoover against the Muslims of the country, the religion of Islam, the Black Panther Party. No Good Marshall was a fucking spy and an informant for J. Edgar Hoover. And then they named an airport after him in Baltimore. And see, that's what the crackers will do when you be a good nigga. You know. Because you'll never see a Huey Newton or Dr. Colin Muhammad airport. You understand where I'm coming from? So, you know, let's do some building and dialoguing. And I'll be getting back with you all shortly. Hotep, Black Power.